Since becoming its own country, India's economy has done something really cool. It's grown a lot. India used to mostly be farms, but now it's a powerful force in the world. This video will show you how India changed its policies and overcame challenges to become the fifth biggest economy on the planet. We'll look at how things were before big changes in 1991, the exciting growth afterward, and what's happening now with Prime Minister Modi's big plans. Finally, we'll see what challenges India faces and what the future might hold. When India became independent in 1947, its economy was in a fragile state. The country had just emerged from the shadows of colonial rule, and the challenges ahead were immense. The economy was primarily agrarian, with a significant portion of the population relying on agriculture for their livelihood. However, the agricultural sector was underdeveloped, and industrial infrastructure was almost non-existent. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, envisioned a self-reliant nation. He decided to focus on building big industries and promoting domestic manufacturing instead of relying on imports. Nehru believed that industrialization was the key to economic independence and modernization. To achieve this vision, the government introduced a series of 5-year plans. These plans were designed to guide the country's economic development and ensure a systematic approach to growth. The first 5-year plan, launched in 1951, prioritized agriculture, but subsequent plans shifted focus towards heavy industries. Massive investments were made in infrastructure projects such as dams, power plants, and steel factories. These projects were seen as the backbone of India's industrial future. The construction of dams not only provided irrigation for agriculture, but also generated hydroelectric power, which was crucial for industrial activities. While these efforts helped India achieve significant industrial growth, they also had some unintended consequences. The focus on heavy industries sometimes meant that there were shortages of essential consumer goods like food and clothing. The rural population in particular faced hardships as resources were diverted towards industrial projects. In addition to industrialization, the government also took control of key sectors such as banking and major industries. This move was aimed at ensuring that the benefits of economic growth were distributed more equitably and that critical sectors were not left to the whims of private enterprises. However, by the late 1980s, it became clear that the existing economic model was not sustainable. The economy was struggling with inefficiencies, and there was an urgent need for reform. This period set the stage for the significant economic changes that would follow in the 1990s, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in India's economic history. In 1991, something big happened in India. The country was facing a severe economic crisis, with high inflation, low growth, and a balance of payments problem. The government had to take drastic measures to stabilize the economy. The economy wasn't doing well, so the government decided to make some big changes. They introduced a series of economic reforms aimed at liberalizing the economy. These reforms included reducing import tariffs, deregulating markets, and reducing the role of the government in business. They allowed more private businesses, welcomed foreign companies, and made it easier to trade with other countries. This was a significant shift from the previous policies that were more focused on self-reliance and protectionism. This brought a lot of energy and competition to India. Markets became more dynamic, and businesses had to innovate to stay competitive. The influx of foreign investment also brought in new technologies and management practices. New businesses started, and foreign companies came to India because they saw a lot of potential. The service sector, particularly IT and software, saw tremendous growth. This period marked the beginning of India's transformation into a global IT hub. The technology industry grew super fast, and India became known for its software skills. Cities like Bangalore emerged as major centers for technology and innovation, attracting talent from all over the country. The economy started growing much faster, and more people joined the middle class. This growth led to increased consumer spending, which further fueled economic expansion. Urban areas saw significant development, with new infrastructure and amenities. But not everyone benefited equally, and some people were left behind. The benefits of liberalization were mostly concentrated in urban areas, while rural regions and marginalized communities did not see the same level of progress. This created a growing disparity between different sections of society. From 2000 to 2014, India kept growing really fast. Technology was still doing great, and new industries like phones, airlines, and finance were booming. India invested in roads, airports, and shipping ports. More people had money to spend, which helped the economy even more. Lots of foreign companies wanted to invest in India too. Even though things were good, there were still problems. Many people were still poor, and farming wasn't as modern as it could be. When Narendra Modi became Prime Minister in 2014, he brought new ideas and a vision for a modern India. His leadership marked a significant shift in the country's approach to governance and development. He wanted India to be a technology leader and a manufacturing powerhouse. The Make in India initiative was launched to encourage companies to manufacture their products in India and incentivize dedicated investments into manufacturing. His plans aim to make it easier to do business in India and attract more foreign investment. The government introduced several reforms to improve the business environment, including simplifying regulations and reducing bureaucratic hurdles. The government also made it easier to pay taxes and do business. The introduction of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, was a landmark reform that unified the country's tax system, making it more transparent and efficient. They even helped people who didn't have bank accounts get them. The Jan Dhan Yojana initiative aimed to provide financial inclusion by opening millions of bank accounts for the unbanked population, especially in rural areas. Even with all this, India still has work to do. The government has also focused on infrastructure development, skill development programs, and urbanization to support the growing economy and workforce. Not enough jobs are being created, farmers need more support, and the gap between the rich and poor is still too big. Addressing these challenges remains crucial for India's continued growth and development. Even though India has come a long way, it still faces challenges. Many people in India are still poor and don't have access to good healthcare, education, or even clean water. The difference between the rich and poor is very big, and pollution is a serious problem. India needs to find a way to grow its economy while making sure everyone benefits and the environment is protected. India's journey has been full of ups and downs, but one thing is clear: India never gives up. From its early days to now, India has always found ways to adapt and grow. To become a $5 trillion economy, India needs to fix its problems, make sure everyone has access to technology, and invest in its people. With the right changes and a focus on helping everyone succeed, India can become one of the most important economies in the world.